Today is October 14th, 2008. I'm Hans Lysklimt, editor of Farman TV. Well, today we're seeing what the governments can do. The markets are booming, and New York was up 12% yesterday, which is it's funny, really. I mean, it's just ridiculous because these are taxpayer money bailing out Wall Street and bailing out the speculators. We've been short this market for a long time. We've been covering a lot of shorts lately, as you see in our comments. We still have some shorts, but with long maturity, so they're not that much affected. And we don't believe in this. You know, it will be time to short again. We'll let this boom play out for a couple of days, couple of weeks, when we see its effects, and then it will be time to short again. And we bought gold yesterday. We bought Goldcorp in the U.S. We're buying into very carefully natural resources. We bought some Russian oil, and the problem right now, as we see it, is that with all these bailings and with all the new money that's being printed, we have passed the point of no return. The U.S. government will have to hyperinflate. There is no other way out of this. And the mess is just going to get bigger, and the necessary corrections are not coming. So this problem is not going away. It's getting worse. And the volatility will be extreme. It will be, we'll see a lot more volatility in oil prices, in stock market prices, in the whole shebang. And you got to be really, really, really careful about this, and the way to play it for the next couple of years is to, for the most part, sit on the sideline with cash. Most part sit on the sideline, and then analyze the situation carefully, day by day, month by month. And you should not take any positions unless the odds are heavily in your favor, because there will be extreme volatility up and down, and most of it you can't predict, and most of it you can't really analyze, because it's so haphazard. It's dependent on what those crazy politicians do. But we're in this together, and we'll analyze this really, really carefully together. And there's going to be hundreds of potential moves and potential trades, but we're only going to do a handful of them. Maybe we're only going to do just a very few trades, and we'll make sure we make trades where the odds are heavily in our favor. So don't jump on just anything, and be real careful. Let this rally right now, let that just pass and play its course. It doesn't bother me the slightest. I'm mostly in cash, some puts still, and gold and natural resources, and that's what I suggest you should be as well. And when we find something we believe in, we will trade, because it's getting time to do that. But we have to analyze and only do the really good trades. What could that be going forward? Well, I bought some gold yesterday. It bottomed out in a trend, and it turned up again after that. Russian oil, still a bit early to tell, but if those crazy Israelis or the U.S. government goes and starts a war with Iran, then oil could go to 400, 500, whatever, and any oil shares will rocket. And you also have to remember that all this new money that's being pumped in will eventually create massive inflation. So you have to play the inflation game as well. When will the markets price in this coming inflation? Hard to tell, but if you look at the 10-year note now, it's on at 4%, and it was down to 3.2%. So obviously something is happening in the interest rate markets, and I believe interest rates are going up because people will demand payment for the risk that they're taking with their money and the purchasing value deteriorating. So interest rates are going heavily up. They're going to be in the double digits within 1 year. And the question is just how far up can they go? And that is going to suppress the stock market even more. So this is it's creating tremendous volatility, and it's creating tremendous opportunities, but also tremendous risk. You risk losing it all if you trade it wrong. So there might be an opportunity to trade gold. You want to get in on some oil plays if you can get them real inexpensively. The banks are probably still going to go bust, some of them, because there's so much trouble, and especially in the shadow banking system, the banking system around the banks. The government cannot bail out everyone. It's just not going to happen. And some are sitting with rotten assets that won't be able to get out of them. The big three automakers in the U.S., one or two of them are going to go bust. Everyone's been spooked now, so no one is buying new cars now. People are saving money and all that, and that's going to heavily impact the entire economy. So the people that are taking the blast from that are going to get wiped out. So, I fully expect GM or Ford to go belly up or to be picked up for a song by someone. Other kinds of plays, agriculture. You might want to even play the interest rate game, but be careful about it and follow my advice. Follow the advice that you find from people on Lou Rockwell, Peter Schiff, Nouriel Nourabini, and a lot of the contrarians, because there will be opportunities, but exactly what they'll be is hard. Of course, the ultimate way to play the inflation game is to buy property with a lot of leverage and loaning money on top of that. And a lot of the new money that's being pumped into the economy will go to exactly that. So think hard about how you can position yourself for that, to lend money now, buy rental properties, and hold them for 30 years. Because if you can get a 30-year mortgage, the inflation that's coming is going to eat up that mortgage as crackers. Because if you can just defer payment for as long as possible, $1 30 years from now, it's not gonna buy anything. What does it buy today? A lollipop? Well, 30 years from now, it's not even gonna buy one single piece of little candy. It's gonna be nothing. They have to hyperinflate their way out of this. You want to have loans then, and investments in something that doesn't deteriorate. Well, one reader asked me what to do. He's underwater on his mortgage, and his mortgage was about double of the value of his house, and he asked me if he should sell. Well, I wouldn't sell if I'm in that much trouble, because if you're in really a lot of trouble, then the bank's in trouble too. So I would rather stop paying my mortgage and see what happens. The whole system is clogged with cases, so maybe you can live free for years. And if the sheriff comes up, then pay one installment, and then you can just defer it like that forever. So in this crisis, there are so many problems all over the place, and they're going to pop up in the most unexpected places. So don't expect this to be over anytime soon. And a rally of 12% is just preposterous. Follow my daily advice on Farman.